Hi, this is the help video for Access Chapter 6, Problem Solve 1. We're looking at starting at step number 4 in the assignment. And on the left I have the instructions, and on the right I have the database as it existed at the end of step 3. So in this query we're going to do a calculated field, but we're not going to do a calculation that has numbers. Rather, we're going to do a calculation that is concatenating text or literals with fields to produce a new field. That new field is going to be called description, and we're using data from both the author and the inventory table. So let's go ahead and start there. We're going to come up here to create and query design. We're going to pick author and inventory, and those are the two fields that we want to use, and we can see we can because there's a connection between them. So we don't really have any fields that we want in this query except for the calculated field. So in this very first column in the field row, I'm going to right click and zoom and make sure that, okay, 16. So first thing when we're doing a calculated field is what's going to be the name of the field, and right here it's called description, colon. Remember, left of the colon, just a name, right of the colon, calculation. So it says the description field should display the following for all books in the database. So we're not limiting it to out of print or anything. We're just doing all books. And we want to do the word author colon, and then the first name and the last name of the author, a hyphen and the word title colon, and then the field book title, space, hyphen, space, the word genre, and then the field genre. So we're concatenating both literals and several fields together to get this new description. So we're going to begin this by just doing the first thing that they want, which is author colon space. And remember, when you're concatenating literals and fields, you need to include in there any kind of spacing or punctuation that you normally would have done, right? So you want to think about if you were typing this up on a keyboard, you know, would you put a space here? Would you put a hyphen? Would you put a comma? The concatenate field is the and sign. So I'm saying take the word author colon space and glue it or join it with the field first name. So some of the mistakes that are made is then somebody would concatenate last name. But if I did that, well, let me do it and show you, because that's sometimes the easiest way. So if I just put last name here and I do OK and I run it, do you see there's no space between the first name and the last name of the author? The word author colon space is good, but I did not provide what I normally would do in a if I was just typing it up on a keyboard, and that is to concatenate first name and last name with a space. So all this is a space bar, right? So I say join that, and here's the literal sign, the text sign here, quote, space, quote, take that space and join it with the field last name, which is good. So let's run this and see how it works. Better, look. Got some space there, Jane space Austen. So we're doing good. So now what we need to do is continue with what they want us to do. So then they want a hyphen title colon space. Okay, so we're going to join that to quote space hyphen space title colon space. So you want to play it out in your mind as to what you would type if you were typing this, you know, just out as a line of text. So I said title, and then so I joined last name with this literal, and I joined that with book title. So let's go ahead and see how it's looking. I'm going to make this big. Okay, so space, hyphen, space, title, colon, space, and then the name. So we're doing good. But do you see how as I'm building this, I'm checking my progress? You don't want to get all the way to the end and then you have a hot mess, and it just takes a little bit longer to fix. So we're going to concatenate book title with, what are they saying here? Genre, so space, hyphen, space, genre, colon, space. So quote, space, hyphen, space, genre, colon, space, and the field book genre. Okay, run it. Let's see what we got. I think it looks good. So we have space before our hyphens and after. We've got a space after our colons. The field is coming up, so that's good. Let's see. We're going to save this as QRY book description and OK, and we're done with that query. So we get to mark that off. All right. So let's take a look at step number 5. Okay, first, step number 5, we're going to use 4 tables: customer, transaction, transaction details, and inventory. And the reason that we're doing that, we're not actually going to pull fields from all of that, but remember, we have to have a line that goes through and connects all of these tables. And sometimes you have to put a table in there that maybe you're not going to use just to get to the other relationship on the other side. So what we're going to do is pulling customer ID, and then we're going to create a new calculated field called revenue. And revenue is defined as the multiplication of price and quantity, right? So it costs $10 and we have 5. So the revenue would be $50, right? That's how you would figure that out. So the rest then is stuff we've done a lot, but the one twist is here that we have to only return the top 25% of the customers. So when I do queries that are like, they're called top value, I always do it for all the records. And then when I have it working, then I go and make the switch to whatever top 5, top 10%, whatever that top value is. So let's begin the query by doing that. We're going to create a query in design, and we're going to pull in these tables: customer and transaction, transaction details, and inventory, right? So if we look at that, we want the customer, we want the customer ID, right? Customer ID, which is over here. And then we want to calculate revenue, which is price. So where's price at? Over here, right? So do you see if I just put customer and inventory, there'd be no line between the two, because a customer only has a relationship with something in inventory if they actually have bought it. So price, and then what's the other thing? Quantity, which is right here, the transaction detail. So let's go to our new field and create our calculated field. First thing is the name, revenue, colon, and then price times quantity. We've done that quite a bit, so that should be something you're familiar with. We're taking the value in the price field and multiplying it by the value in the quantity. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Got to pay attention to how it's in the in the table. So price times quantity, multiply that and put it in this new field called revenue. Okay, so I'm just going to run it and see how we're doing. Okay, well, I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put in these fields, quantity and price, just so I can do some double checking. So 2 times 23.90, that's working out. 1 times 20. So I'm just doing some spot checks. 2 at 125 is 250. I know it's good, so I can go and get rid of these 2 fields now. Right? Because I don't really want them in there. I just wanted to use it to validate my data, that my formula is working right. Okay, so let's see what we need to do. Okay, so when we run this, well, it already is currency, but let's go ahead and property sheet. Sorry, be on the field revenue, property sheet, format, currency, just so we're good. And then descending order by revenue. So sort revenue descending. Let's see how it works. Okay, so highest price to lowest price. Cool. So I'm good. It's looking good. So now all I need to do is return the top 25% of the customers. So that's up here in this return field right now. Do you see it's returning all? I'm going to click that down. 25% happens to be one of the choices, but remember, you can just type. If I wanted 30%, I would just type 30%. If I wanted 7 records and not a percentage, I would type that. But I'm going to use the 25% drop down. So I'm going to run it, and I have now limited the return of records, the result set, to just the top 25 revenue earners. So I can save that. QRY, top 25% customers. And I am good. I am done with step 5. All right, I am going to end the movie here, and we'll pick up, and we'll see how we go. I probably have 2 more movies because these take a little while. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this query and stop the movie, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.